Tonight on Troy, TrojanVision News, COVID-19 vaccines are going into the arms of the public at Troy University. We have a look coming up.
Democrats are scrambling to get a COVID rescue package on the president's desk as soon as possible. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with the details of how Republicans are planning to delay the process.
And students got the chance to learn yoga at the International Arts Center. We'll have the details coming up. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision News starts right now.
From Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network Earl Hutto Studio, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for March 4th, 2021. I'm Michaela Smith.
And I'm Brady Talbert. Thank you for joining us this evening.
The state of Alabama's safer at home mask requirement has been extended for another month. Governor Kay Ivey made the announcement this morning. The statewide mask order has been extended to April 9th at 5 p.m. Today's order did have some changes, like allowing 2 visitors or caregivers at a time in hospitals and nursing homes. Also, it's lifted its party size restrictions at tables for restaurants and bars, but partitions or 6 feet between tables is still required. Although she extended the order today, Ivey said this is going to be her last extension at the statewide mask order.
Our new modified order will include several changes that will ease up some of our current restrictions while keeping our mask order in place for another 5 weeks through April 9. But let me be abundantly clear. After April the 9th, I will not keep the mask order in effect.
For a full rundown of the current mask order requirements, you can visit governor.alabama.gov. Once again, the statewide mask mandate has been extended to April 9th.
After months of waiting while other Alabama universities received doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, Troy has its doses and began vaccinations today at the university's health center. The COVID-19 vaccine is going into the arms of the public on Troy University's campus as Thursday kick-started the school's push to vaccinate the community after receiving 2,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine.
This is not specific just to the university. This is a community-based program. So we want to make sure that everyone that lives not only in Pike County, but in those communities that are surrounding Pike County, that there is opportunity to come here and to get at least the first dose of the vaccine.
Doses are for those who meet the health department's guidelines. Those 65 and older, healthcare providers, nursing home residents, law enforcement, firefighters, and critical workers can get the shot. That includes Troy's faculty and staff, but not students.
At the moment, students who don't already have a pre-existing health condition that puts them in a high-risk category are not eligible to receive the vaccine. We anticipate that students will become eligible most likely in April, but at this point in time, they won't be eligible to receive the vaccine.
Tatum said the university had 500 people signed up to receive a shot for day 1 of the clinic. Those who still wish to get vaccinated on campus can visit covid.troy.edu to request an appointment.
Our goal is to give all 2,000 dosages out by the end of the month and then receive the second round of dosages at the beginning of April.
Tatum says more doses should be sent to Troy in April with the potential of receiving up to 8,000 in total.
The Brothers of Alpha Tau Omega will start their 128-mile hike to Panama City Beach tomorrow morning. However, yesterday, the brothers got a little encouragement from the state capitol. Walk Hard participants visited Montgomery Wednesday afternoon for a proclamation ceremony by Secretary of State John Merrill. The proclamation dedicates Friday Walk Hard Day in the state of Alabama. The same day, ATO brothers will begin their 6-day journey. The Walk Hard send-off will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on the John Lewis Quad. The brothers are expected to arrive at Pier Park in Panama City Beach the next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. The International Arts Center is known for its works of art, many of which people probably pose for.
However, it was different kinds of poses on display in the IAC last night as part of a new program to bring students into the center. Deandra Larkin explains.
Namaste inside, Namaste at the IAC. Free yoga at the International Arts Center in collaboration with Trojan Fitness and Wellness Center.
We thought this would be a great opportunity to pull some new people into our building and just offer a class that could help, especially during the midterms, relieve a little bit of that stress. Of course, we had a student lead the class, so that's important for us. And I'm so happy with the outcome. I think we had a great attendance.
Being used to instructing at Troy University's Rec Center, senior exercise science major Kaylee LaPrell's very first time at the IAC was instructing students on tips and better ways for de-stressing at this stressful time.
So it's definitely an amazing opportunity to just have a good community of people with, like-mindedness, and also just taking the opportunity to let your mind rest, taking a break from studying for midterms, and also just allowing your body to just get rest and stretch and just let some blood flow go through your body. And it's also amazing just for strengthening your body as well.
Social gatherings and sticking with the CDC protocols was a bit of a challenge. However, the IAC says finding a way for students to stay safe is exactly why they do it.
Well, it's definitely been a challenge for any social gathering, which is why we emphasize adhering to the COVID protocols. I think people are not getting out as much, but we felt like we could offer this as a safe experience for our students to have during this busy time and stressful time.
The peace in me finds the peace in you. Deandra Larkin, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The class will be held the first Wednesday of each month in the IAC. There are plans to bring other types of student involvement classes to the center in the future as well.
Now for news from across the nation and around the world on Troy TrojanVision News.
The Senate has officially begun consideration of the president's American Rescue Plan, though Republicans are vowing to slow down the process.
The Senate's top Democrat says the chamber will pass the bill no matter how long it takes. Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
As the Senate prepares to vote this week on the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill, Republicans are pushing to delay the process. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson has threatened to force a full reading of the bill on the floor.
All I'm trying to do is make this a more deliberative process. Obviously shine the light on this abusive and obscene amount of money.
We Democrats want America to hear what's in the plan.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will stay in session for as long as it takes to get to a vote.
The time is now to move forward with big, bold, strong relief.
With weekly unemployment claims ticking up slightly last week, the Senate relief proposal is expected to maintain the House-passed $400 weekly enhanced unemployment benefits through August, though some Republicans are calling for the amount to remain at the current $300 per week. President Biden has continued his public push to get the bill passed, and he says success on the American Rescue Plan could build momentum on his other legislative priorities.
We have a number of meetings with Republicans on the coronavirus bill.
The president and top health officials have slammed the loosening of COVID restrictions in Mississippi and Texas this week, saying now is not the time to let up. Thursday, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey announced she will maintain her state's mask requirement for only one more month. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Security is on high alert on the U.S. Capitol after law enforcement agencies warned of potential violence today.
The threat centers around the conspiracy theory that March 4th is the actual day American president should be inaugurated, and that today is the day that former President Donald Trump will be restored to power. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
Security has increased around the U.S. Capitol today in response to intelligence that violent extremists may try another attack similar to the January 6th assault.
We do realize that the possibility of a similar incident occurring in the current environment is a very clear and present danger.
Capitol Police want the Pentagon to keep up to 2,000 National Guard soldiers at the Capitol for up to 60 days.
We should have them here as long as they are needed.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's now reviewing a draft proposal from retired General Russell Honore, who has been assessing security needs at the Capitol.
It's going to take more money to protect the Capitol in a way that enables people to come here, children to come and see our democracy in action.
Law enforcement officials are asking state and local authorities to report any suspicious activity related to domestic violent extremism as the threat to the Capitol and lawmakers extends beyond just today.
So the threats are ongoing?
Yes.
Okay.
Law enforcement says threats against U.S. lawmakers are spiking.
In the first 2 months of 2021, there has been over a 93% increase in the threats to members, compared to the same period last year.
An intelligence bulletin from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security warns that potential violence is most likely to be committed by lone offenders or small cells using simple tactics and easy-to-acquire weapons. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, Michaela, we had another sunny and warm day outside today.
Yes, Brady, I'm hoping this weather will carry on into spring break. Laurel, how long will this warm weather last?
Well, I know we're all loving the sun and the warm, and luckily for us, as we start spring break, that won't be going anywhere. But I'll have more on that when we come back.
Cool party. What do you guys want to drink? Can I have a head-on collision with a concussion twist?
Make mine a fatal accident with no survivors.
And you?
A designated driver, please. You know, just a bottle of water.
Awesome.
You're a lifesaver.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I think it goes around.
Let's go. We gotta get you in practice.
And it's set.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Now, your weather on Troy Trojan Vision News.
Thank you for staying tuned for your Troy Trojan Vision weather. I'm Laurel Hatfield. As we take a look at the quad cam behind me, we do see that we have those very pretty skies. It's been very sunny today, but how long will that sun last? I'll let you know after our current conditions. Currently, we do have those fair skies, and we're sitting at a temperature of 75 degrees with the humidity at 20% and the pressure at 30.03 inches, with the wind coming out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Looking at our daily weather almanac, our high for today is what we are at right now, which is 75, and our low is 43. Our record high was 84 back in 1955, and our record low was 19 back in 1943. Looking at temperatures across the state, Huntsville is currently at 70, with Birmingham at 71, Phoenix City is at 72, Montgomery is at 74, Troy is at 75, Dothan's at 72, and Mobile is at 70. Looking at temperatures across the southeast, for the most portions of the southeast, it is very warm with those upper 60, low 70 degree temperatures, so it's feeling good down here in our area. However, looking at temperatures across the United States, again, most of the warmer portions are in the Great Plains area and the southeastern portions of the United States. But as we get further north, you have those cold 20 degree temperatures. And looking at the Rocky Mountains region, we have those 40, 50 degree temperatures. Moving into our rain maps for Friday, Friday is going to be a mostly sunny day because we have a 20% chance of rain moving into Friday night. However, as we go into Saturday, it will be a very clear day. It's going to be very pretty on Saturday. And moving into Sunday again, it's going to be a very sunny day. And as we start our week on Monday, again, another sunny day. Looking at tonight, we have a low of 43 with those mostly clear skies, with the wind coming out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Moving into tomorrow, we have that high of 70 with increasing cloud coverage because there is a 20% chance of rain Friday night, with the wind coming out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Moving into our 4-day forecast for tomorrow, it'll be a mostly sunny day with a high of 70 and a low of 46. On Saturday, a mostly sunny day as well with a high of 60 and a low of 37. On Sunday will be a sunny day with a high of 62 and a low of 37. And on Monday will be a sunny day with a high of 66. So as we start our weekend off, we won't be needing any of those jackets because it will be warm and that sun will be out. That's your forecast. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Laurel. Coming up on Troy Trojan Vision News, a successful test landing goes up in flames. Coming up in today's, take a look at this.
And the Trojan basketball teams are getting ready for the Sun Belt Tournament. Jacqueline Lambert has a preview coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Ben Utek. I played high school, college, and pro football, helping my team win the 2006 championship. That was an amazing day, but it can't compare to the joy I feel every day with my loving wife and 3 beautiful daughters. My football career ended after I suffered my 5th concussion. Did you know that over 1 million athletes suffer a concussion each year? That includes boys and girls, every age, every type and level of sport. It isn't always clear that a player has had a concussion, so parents, athletes, and coaches need to learn about concussion signs and symptoms. The American Academy of Neurology recommends athletes thought to have a concussion be immediately removed from play and not returned until assessed by a healthcare professional trained in concussion. This isn't just about sports. It's about your brain. When in doubt, sit it out. Learn more at aan.com/concussion. A message from the American Academy of Neurology.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Welcome to your TrojanVision Sports. I am Jacqueline Lambert. The Trojan baseball team dropped their first road game of the season against nationally ranked Alabama yesterday afternoon. Troy fell to the Tide 9-1 in Tuscaloosa. A 6-run third inning gave Bama a lead that Troy couldn't catch up to in the game. Troy's lone score was scored off a Drew Frederick homer in the 6th inning. Kyle Gamble suffered the loss on the mound for Troy after allowing 7 runs in 2 1/3 innings. Up next, Troy travels to Louisiana to take on Southeastern Louisiana in a 3-game series this weekend. The Trojan softball team is coming off their own loss to the Crimson Tide, falling to Alabama 2-0 on Sunday, and now they face the other SEC team in the state this evening. First pitch against the Tigers was at 5 p.m. and last report was 0-0 at the top of the first inning. Troy will play 4 more games in the Tiger Invitational after Auburn this weekend. The Trojan men's basketball team will compete in the first round of the Sun Belt Tournament against UTA Arlington Friday night. Troy goes into the tournament as the 6th seed from the East. Troy has not played UTA yet this year, but head coach Scott Cross knows they have some good talent.
One of the best players, just like Devontae Jones. Shahada Wells is probably top 3 player in the league. Can score it as good as anyone. He's a guy that can drop 30 on you on any given night. So we're going to have to do a great job on him. They've got another shooter, Sam, that can light it up. That David Azor is a strong driver. I think he hit a game winner yesterday. It's a tough matchup, but. I know our guys will be locked in and they'll be ready, and it's your last chance to do something special. So we got to lay it all on the line and go out there and fight for 40 minutes.
The first round game will tip off at 8 p.m. from the Pensacola Bay Center. For those of you not traveling to the game, it will be broadcast on ESPN+. And the women won't play in the tournament until the second round thanks to #1 seed bye in the first round. Troy will have to play the winner of the Georgia Southern-Texas State matchup on Friday. Troy has only played one of the teams, Georgia Southern, who also happens to be one of the 2 teams to beat them in conference play. Head coach Chanda Rigby breaks down the possible matchups between the 2 possible opponents.
We played Georgia Southern 4 times. They are one of the teams that beat us once. They're a very good team. To me, other than us, they're one of the most dangerous teams. They're very athletic and they can get very motivated. Their coach is very motivating. So, Texas State, we have not played. I will say this, and hope it don't come back to haunt us, but just what I think from watching the teams from the other side, since we haven't played them, they did not play the fast pace night in and night out that we play.
Trojans will play their first game in the Sun Belt Tournament Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Pensacola Bay Center. This game will be televised on ESPN+. I'm really looking forward to see both of our basketball teams play in the Sun Belt tournament this weekend.
Yes, and the women's game is Saturday at 11, and it's on ESPN+.
And a reminder, the men's game is at 8 o'clock on Friday, also in Florida. Thank you, Jacqueline. Studying abroad has been impossible due to COVID travel restrictions. However, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Aaron Taylor learns more about the future study abroad plans in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Sarah McKenzie, coordinator of study abroad here at Troy University. Sarah, I want you to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And so, first and foremost, study abroad. It's been a struggle this year, obviously, because with COVID, you can't do any traveling abroad. It's hard to even travel within the United States. Right. So what are some of the challenges been for your department in just trying to keep things going and staying on track?
Mm-hmm. So I've really just tried to keep study abroad at the forefront of everyone's minds, that it is coming back, that we are going to be able to go again, and try to keep it in people's radar so that they know they'll be able to go.
And one of the things is you've recently made an announcement of some of the trips for next year. So we're kind of starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's been travel restrictions. You haven't been able to go overseas. Had a lot of them canceled last year, but you've already made the plans for next year. But before we get to the plans for next year, what kind of impact did COVID have on study abroad here at Troy? Like, how many trips would you estimate got canceled because of study abroad, because of COVID?
Yes, so we had about 12 faculty-led trips that were canceled. We had students abroad that we recommended that they came home. Some of them stayed and some of them came home. But yeah, it's pretty much decimated study abroad for now.
Oh, and it's one of those things that, and it was kind of like a rolling, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Then all of a sudden the hammer dropped and it was gone. And for there to be such a push on study abroad programs at the university, because it's one of those, the chancellor's big focuses is to try to get students out there. What does it mean to try to get it all working back together again?
Well, I'm really relying on my faculty leaders who have been on multiple trips already, before this happened. But students are interested. They want to go. A lot of students, I think, would go right now if they could. They're not too scared to travel. But it's going to be a rebuilding process. We had a lot of momentum behind us. We had a lot of growth in the last 3 years, 4 years, and now I feel like we're starting kind of at scratch. So I'm hoping that my faculty leaders are going to jump on board and help me out, get some trips approved.
Now, you already have some ready to go for a year from now. It's going to be in the spring of 2022. We're going to say that right now, that we're talking 2022 here, not even for this calendar year. But what are some of the things you've already got coming in plans for next year?
So Tracy Leverett and Sedaris Williams have a trip planned to the French Riviera, Italy, and Switzerland for spring break. Dr. Diane Young and Dr. Amanda Innes and Dr. Sherry Siebenhinner have a trip planned for Greece for the beginning of May. Dr. Michael Woods and Dr. Amy Grillo have a trip planned to the Galapagos in May. And Dr. Jay Valentine has a trip planned to Paris for June.
So you've already got some trips planned there, so students can start thinking about some opportunities there. And if they are interested in some of those trips, what should a student be doing at this point right now if they were interested in maybe going on one of those trips that have already been planned?
They can email me. They can go, they can search Study Abroad on our website and find the application portal and find out more information about those trips. They can also contact the faculty leaders, directly via email, and I can give them that information too, but definitely reach out to me.
And so now reaching out to you, obviously there's a few that are already there in the works, planned already, but obviously there were 12 trips that were canceled last year, and there were some faculty members that had planned some of those trips. So if there are faculty members that maybe had some of those trips planned last year, or even some that are thinking, man, I have a trip I wanted to do once things were lifted, what do they need to do to kind of initiate this process to get us back on track and have study abroad programs available for students?
Right, so there's a proposal packet that has to go through all the signatures, and if they've done it before, they know that. But again, if a faculty leader is interested, they can just contact me. My email, easy one, is troyabroad@troy.edu. I'm happy to help them, walk them through the process. It's not a great deal of information, especially if you've done it before, because you can just sort of tweak those details. But starting one, it can be a little bit more work, but it's still not a terrible amount.
And so now that some of those have maybe had theirs canceled last year, this is the time for them to reconnect with you and say, hey, can we try to work out the details for 2022?
Yes, so 2 of our current trips that are approved were trips for 2021, and all they really had to do was resubmit with new dates. So
that easier process. So anybody
yes.
that had 2020, they can shift over to 2022 and maybe figure out the details on that. But
yes.
But tell me about this, and probably should have asked you earlier, but why is it important for students to take advantage of these study abroad opportunities?
Well, you know, we live in a very global world now. Even here at the university, we have so many international students on campus, and our domestic students are already being exposed to other cultures and other languages on campus. And just going and seeing that for yourself, it really broadens your mind, and it helps you to see, you know, what someone else's world looks like. We know what our world looks like here in South Alabama, but what is it really like in Paris, in Greece? So I think it opens their mind. It also helps them a lot with their future applications for employment or for grad schools. Only 10% of American students study abroad. So it puts them in a very small percentage of people who have done something extra besides just going and getting a degree. And it sets them apart during an interview process.
So here's hoping that students take advantage of those opportunities, and a few of them that have already been announced for 2022. Welcome back, study abroad next year.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for joining me today, and good luck getting things back on track for study abroad.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.
A dad's dedication to a wintry background thrill ride
leads to a decades-long luge legacy. Jeremy Roth has today's. Take a look at this.
This speedy luge ride in a Minnesota backyard didn't just pop up overnight. In fact, it's a product of decades of design. Paul Swanstrom's 200-foot homemade luge is the talk of the town this time of year.
Oh, it's a ton of fun. It's faster and there's sharp turns, and so it's more difficult to stay on.
The former teacher uses homemade tools and hard-earned know-how to craft his annual Thrifty Thrill Ride. Swanstrom's legacy of luge started as a project for his son in the early 1970s, and since then, he's built at least 25 slides, evolving the design over time. How does he do it?
Mostly it's trial and error.
Swanstrom always educates would-be thrill seekers on form and technique.
Got to get your feet flat on the bottom.
Here's a key takeaway. Avoid the tree at the end. Speaking of trial and error, the SpaceX test program has had problems with exploding prototypes lately, but I'm happy to report the latest unmanned Mars test rocket successfully stuck its landing for the first time. And then it blew up.
Oh God, it just blew up.
The explosion was shared by YouTubers who caught the out-of-the-blue blast 3 minutes after touchdown because SpaceX had ended its live feed, probably thinking, that's a wrap. 2 of SpaceX's recent prototypes crash-landed after their respective launches. What caused the most recent rocket's delayed reaction has yet to be revealed.
What?
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Now, Laurel, you said we could expect a clear day tomorrow.
Yes, Laurel, what will the weekend look like?
Well, as we take a look at tonight, we have that low of 43 with those mostly clear skies, with the wind coming out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Moving into tomorrow, we have that high of 70 and it will be a cloudy day tomorrow because there is a small chance of rain for Friday night. The wind will be coming out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the next 4 days, again for tomorrow, it'll be a cloudy day with a high of 70 and a low of 46. For Saturday, will be a mostly sunny day with a high of 60 and a low of 37. On Sunday, it'll be a sunny day with that high of 62 and a low of 37. And on Monday, it'll be another sunny day with a high of 66. So you can expect a lot of sun as we start our weekend and as we start our spring break. Those are your conditions. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Laurel. That's all the time we have for Troy Trojan Vision News. For all of us here at Trojan Vision, thanks for joining us.
You can see more on our Trojan Vision website at troy.edu/TrojanVision. Tune in again tomorrow night for more news, sports, and weather. Till then, have a good night.